I'm Joanna William, the Programmatic Access Director for MLD.
Paul Miyamoto, Assistant Sheriff.
Thank you. May I ask a?
And who are you, please?
My name is Jason Grant Garza.
Okay, so this is the rules. I have delved into the emails Mr. Garza has been sending me and our staff, and have asked for any records regarding Mr. Garza's communications in the past, when I've been here and not here as sheriff, to try to ascertain what your concerns, complaints, and grievances are about.
Thank you.
And committed to try to grapple and understand with what those are. And to do so, I've asked my staff, who are pertinent, I think, in this discussion, and I appreciate very much the rest of the city staff on these questions, Office of Disability, et cetera, to also partake in this. So we have a little bit of trouble, I think, in trying to decipher sometimes what is of concern to you, as I've actually talked with other people. So I want to do my best to try to hear where you're coming from and what it is that we can try to do to remedy either past grievance or in the future concerns, and give you kind of the opportunity to lay that out for us, and then give us an opportunity to try to respond. So it's a little bit open, but you have our dedicated ear, but we'd also like the opportunity to respond.
I more than graciously accept your offer and think that it's probably the most magnanimous gift I've been afforded so far. Okay. What I want to say, if you've delved into my past, I think you've noticed that I, yes, would make the perfect poster boy for the civil Gideon legislation that was passed by David Chu in regard to receiving services for people who are disabled and who need, help in receiving things when they can't find them themselves. You'll note that in 2001, when my soulmate died, and my doctor at the time was Mitchell Katz, Director of Public Health, I went to emergency seeking emergency services and was denied emergency services, and was told by everyone in every agency that I went to that I was not in emergency, inclusive of patient advocacy, inclusive of the Mayor's Office of Disability, inclusive of DPHs, inclusive of Medicare's ombudsman. Oh, the list is endless. The lack of humanity in me just trying to receive my medical care as a disabled person for this countless interim has been beyond disbelief. Unfortunately, I was led to believe in a civilized society that people had rights. I've soon learned that that didn't apply. I, of course, naturally sought all the correct help, only to be steered down dead alleys that didn't work, the San Francisco Bar Association, yada, yada, yada. Finally, I took the city to court myself after spending hours in the law library, having the integrity to do what's right for a prepaid service. I'm fully disabled, and I am entitled to these services, and under ADA and every other way. I took the city to federal court, where they got up and testified and committed fraud and had my case dismissed, only to sign a confession 4 years later through the Office of Inspector General, admitting fault and guilt for having broken emergency law, which is what I had told everyone. Amazingly enough, in the interim, I had the sense to drop my Medicare, because I had argued with them that as a Medicare beneficiary, I was owed a certain duty for all these prepaid services that I had paid in for all my life, since I was now a disabled person. Of course, they laughed in my face and dropped my Medicare policy. So when I went back with the signed confession, I got exactly what I got from the Department of Public Health, what I got from San Francisco General, and from everybody else. Oh, well, case closed, move on. You don't exist, it doesn't matter. I was left for dead. At that point, I thought, well, geez, you've won. You're going to have civility. You're not going to have to worry about your rights being violated as a disabled person. I continued to seek medical help and was consistently denied. I went to I went to Tom Waddell twice and was denied. I videotaped it. I followed up through their grievance procedure, which is, of course, naturally risk management like it was initially when I was denied emergency services. I can show you the paperwork. I can show you the fact that I complained not only in regard to the denial of the emergency services, I complained into the lack of humanity and the risk management process that I was being put through at the time. I have that risk management complaint to the city and county of San Francisco that, of course, was never responded to or answered to. I was just, told that I was the one that was wrong. All I have sought has been my medical care. When I went down on 8/15, you must remember that in the interim, having gone to Tom Waddell, having gone to the Sunshine Task Force to request medical records that they've again denied, and supplied people, their HIPAA expert to the Sunshine Task Force to tell them that I was incorrect when it regarded HIPAA law, and I wasn't entitled to my medical records when I was. And of course, Sunshine looking the other way, because that's naturally Sunshine's task as a shill for the city. It's not there to dispense any type of justice. It's, as I politely refer to it, the Ministry of Sunshine. Everything is obscured and not what it is. Unfortunately, I have continued because it's the right thing to do. I will not sell my integrity for the prepaid services, the medical services that I'm already entitled to. No matter who has to pay the price for all the wrongdoing and for all the lack of accountability. I am a human being. I'm a person who's paid taxes. I'm a person who's been disabled, who's done everything correctly. That's why I'm videotaping. I've been through the process of no videotaping. It's your word against their word. I've been through federal court. As a matter of fact, it was my federal court papers that won the signed settlement agreement, the only one of its kind through the Office of Inspector General that admits fault and guilt for having broken medical law. So when I ask, who arrests for medical law? It's because I have been beyond harmed already. And it's just continuing because no one is accountable. And that stems from the very top. You will note that when I email you, it goes to Kathleen Sibilis. It goes to the people at the state level. It goes to everyone at disability. It is not I who am wrong. It is I who am not being helped by this system. And I, like I said, will not give up my principles and my values to get what's mine. So, I don't know if you guys want to see videos. I don't know if you want to see prior paperwork. I don't know if you want to see my paperwork to the city attorney, who told me under Penal Section 632, yada, 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 when I responded, I never got a response. I wasn't even afforded that humanity. I have it all. Trust me, I've kept everything. I've turned over every stone and every rock because I'm telling the truth. And in this society, that's all I have left.
Is there anything else?
I don't know where we should start with this. Like I said, I would like to show you the videos because in so many ways, this entire thing is like the Boy Scouts. The recent scandal of the Boy Scouts finally being exposed for the cover-up and the pedophilia, and the courts looking the other way, and the medical professionals looking the other way, and law enforcement looking the other way. This is exactly the same thing for the brand name recognition of the Department of Public Health, dispensing public health, which it's not. I've already proven that when I was falsely arrested for emergency services, when I was denied my HIPAA rights in seeking my medical records, and now on 8/15, simply following up on all the denials. I couldn't even get help at the Department of Public Health. All I could get was a bogus stay-away order. What do I need to do? Where should I go die? Please tell me. Because I can tell you, honestly, having to get up and fight for what's right every day, in addition to being ill, is not living. And I've had years of this.
So you have a captive audience of people who I think are trying to do, and I know we're trying to do their jobs and do it well, but we're all, I think, a little bit flummoxed, frustrated, because you're hard to follow, and you need to own And so I think that some of the nuggets that I've read in your emails and what I try to pull out, you know, as to how we can try to help you is why we've assembled and have asked people from around the city to do their best to be as helpful as they possibly can. I don't want to come at this from a point of if somebody did not do what you would like or there's a grievance here, I don't know how to remedy or resolve that. The best use, I think, of the people that you have assembled here is how we move forward.
Okay, unfortunately.
And so I'm, we're not here to litigate, we're only here to try to do what we can, I think, to assist you in whatever your desire is through medical care.
I love the fact that you used the word litigate because it reminds me so much of when I went to Nancy Pelosi and I got letters from Nancy Pelosi having looked into my prior case. And in the end, when they didn't produce anything or no results, you know, I went back and her assistant told me that they couldn't legislate morality and accountability. I love the fact that you used the word litigate. You know, it comes down to the crux of what your organization stands for, what it's there to protect, serve, all these other things. Sir, I'm simply asking for, you know, my legal rights to be enforced.
Right.
You know, now, you know, do you say, let's move forward? No, excuse me. I've lived the past in which I've expressed the truth, in which the corrections have not been made, in which the people have not been accountable, and for you to even suggest to move forward under those auspices, which I can prove, and it's still continuing, because you still haven't answered who arrests for medical law violation, you know, yada, 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 you know.
Actually, I have in the email.
And I've told you that the DA has denied what you've stated.
Well,
I've also made it obvious to you that you can go down there with me and we can have on tape a discussion between who's correct and who's not correct, which you haven't responded to. So please, sir.
So I'm not here to be argumentative.
I am not either. I'm being honest and telling the truth.
So the issue,
So now, who is telling the truth? Are you telling the truth or is the DA telling the truth? And who can arrest for medical law violations? Because remember, I have it on video that he says he cannot.
the jurisdiction is the district attorney and or the city attorney, but they elect to decide what they prosecute. They don't prosecute every crime that is presented to them. That's obvious. Or else the police would.
Or maybe they over-prosecute things, you know, closer to home for you, you know, and to show you the overzealous that they can be in their.
I'm answering your question.
Yes,
so
I
as it relates
understand.
to medical law, the jurisdiction, depending on what type of violation medical law, would either be city attorney or the district attorney municipally. So if they choose not to support you in that, we have no role in this.
So let me see if I
But
got
moving
this right.
forward-
So if I go back to the Department of Public Health and they provide another bogus stay-away order because the city attorney or the district attorney or whomever is not going to follow up on the criminal fraud, they can get away with it again and you guys can just escort me off because you're just washing your hands and doing your job.
Well, you seem to be very combative in the sense that I just answered your question, but you don't like the answer.
No, I'm just expounding on the answer. So to be combative is a total misrepresentation. I'm laying out the whole truth.
So
Where does that leave me, the victim, then?
I don't know. And so,
Well, these are prepaid services. All I want is what I've paid in for
What is the
and to
service?
receive
What is the
medical care.
Okay, so
I've
let's-
consistently asked for
let's
it.
evaluate.
I've said, hey, walk me across the street. You know, I can show them all the paperwork of their prior denials.
you want to
you know?
I need to try to be as focused as possible. So how do we structure this? You want to be walked across the street to do what?
To receive medical care.
And you need to be walked by whom?
By you guys, you can see that as I'm sitting there
And
explaining my
you
medical
need to
care.
be escorted for what reason?
I would like to, for what reason? I mean, how can you ask that? Did you not see the bogus stay-away order that they produced criminally fraudulently and that apparently nobody's going to follow up on because, you know, you're too sorry, you know, you don't understand not only who can enforce medical law, but, you know, it's beyond your jurisdiction. And in the meantime, Mr. Victim, just go die somewhere? What?
Well, I'm asking, what is it that you need? What is it that you need? You need
I
a
needed
sense-
what I've always sought,
So
my
if there's
medical
a stay-away
care.
order, that's a court-ordered document.
Is that stay-away order valid?
We don't have the ability, yes,
As
please.
far as 101 Grove goes and Tom Waddell, you can enter as you please.
Well, wait a minute. So are you telling me that that stay-away order that was on the videotape is not valid?
As I can't speak to that specific question.
I'm very confused.
As of today, okay, you can go into Tom
Is there a stay-away order? I don't.
As we understand it, at 101 Grove, there was a stay-away order. However, the sheriffs were misunderstood of what the specifics were and when it ended. So as of today,
I'm confused. I'm really confused because you're saying that as of today, but let me please clarify something because I want the whole picture. Remember, I was confrontational with Ross.
Be nice.
I'm trying to be nice. You know,
She's
you're
answering your
representing.
question.
Well, then let me phrase the question appropriately. Okay? Now you told me as of today that I can go in and at the stay away order. Well, excuse me, what about that stay away order that supposedly was there? Because remember, I did sunshine the Department of Public Health and they said there was no such document. Now, for you to say that there was one before.
I did not say that. So I just
Oh,
want to be
I thought you said there
very
was
clear.
one before.
I just would like to be very clear. You asked to be walked across the street to receive services today. I'm letting you know, as of today, you can enter 101 Grove as well as Tom Waddell, if that's what you choose.
And I will receive services and be allowed to videotape the receipt of those
That's what
services.
You can enter the building. As far as services, that is not in the realm of my job duties. So when
Okay.
you get there, then you can address that with them. But I'm letting you know you can enter that building.
Okay, so that takes care of one issue. What's the other issue that's outstanding? What's the other issue?
So now I can enter the building.
Apparently so.
Okay, so what about
I
the
never
fact that I
heard you
couldn't, that, the bogus stay away order? What about the fact that I couldn't on 8/15 and, you know, the months that I've been denied?
You have to address that with the individuals who you spoke to before.
And I'm not aware of it, so I don't know. I honestly don't know.
You didn't see the audio, the videotape on
Yeah,
YouTube.
but I don't understand. That's why I've asked you to a meeting.
That's why I'm confused. You don't understand that I walked there seeking services and that, you know, after much go-around, they came down with a bogus stay-away order?
I'm sorry, I don't have any information about a stay-away.
And you guys don't remember receiving that, Paul, that I showed you on, you know, the copies that you made that I showed, the bogus stay-away order and pointed to it and said, you know, it said stay away as of 1/18/2012?
I haven't seen it personally, but according to what has just been stated, if the stay away is lifted, and we don't have any control as an agency of lifting it, and
Yeah, we don't list stay-away.
we don't have any.
Oh, what a
control.
presupposition.
No, we don't.
What
What a presupposition. Yeah,
If I may
you
finish.
don't lift stay-away orders, but was it even valid? What do you mean lift a bogus stay-away order that denied me services? You know, the percassapacity of this is just beyond me.
If I may finish, the crux of all of this is to get you over there, to get you some services, correct? We want to
Jesus,
get-
that has been the crux for 12 years, and it's amazing the length and depth and breadth that I've had to go just to get the decent afforded humanity on that
I
level.
think we recognize that just by the fact that we're all sitting here collectively.
Do you also recognize that I've been denied in the past? And those are incidents of law-breaking activity. Do you realize that? And do you realize that by simply glossing over it is not a fix?
Well, but we want to provide solutions for you, as the sheriff indicated. So let's focus on the one right now, which is to get you into the clinic itself first, correct? Because you physically have to get to the clinic to get the service.
Well, no. She just stated that I could go in the building. It didn't mean I was going to receive the services, you know, and everything else. I mean, I was quite clear on her spin. You know, no, I want to go in, receive the services, videotape so that I can present my paperwork, establish a baseline of prior and consistent maltreatment and denial of services and rights and everything else and go forward so that it won't be swept under the carpet. No. And then I want accountability so that it doesn't happen to somebody else and so that they don't have to go through what I had to go through in years. My God, you don't think I got the signed confession because the city decided to do the right thing after it broke the law and lied in federal court? You don't think that this person sitting over here with the Department of Public Health is offering this after, you know, I didn't get denied once again, even, you know, my basic entrance into 101 Grove on 8/15. I mean,
Do you want answers or do you want to make speeches?
For the record, I'm not offering anything. I'm here as representative as the ADA coordinator and to find out if you need some type of accommodation.
yes, I need my programmatic access to my medical
And I
care.
was only here to report that you can enter 101 Grove and you can enter Tom Waddell. So other than that, please do not make false statements.
I'm sorry, I didn't think I had. I said that you had said that I could enter it. You didn't say I could receive the services. I was making a clarification of the statement, not a false statement. Please don't miscategorize my good intent.
So you have access, and I'm wondering, I don't know about any stay away per se, but is it because they were feeling confronted, or you were abusing staff when you were over there before?
Well, first of all, you'd have to ask them.
Okay.
Secondly, the representation, my gosh, in the Sunshine Commission, they've represented me as hostile, and they're the ones who have consistently broken the law and not been accountable. The same thing, in the federal court case. So for you to try to blame the victim, Ross,
Nobody's blaming
is
anybody.
so beneath you.
I'm asking a question.
The question?
Do you feel that you're being hostile?
No, of course not. I just am tired of people continually telling me what is right and giving me dead-end leads when they're dead wrong because they're unaccountable.
Well, you actually don't have a dead-end lead. We've already had one minor breakthrough, and that is you have access to something that you're supposed
I have access to the building, not the services, correct?
Okay, but I think that if they're feeling, and I can't speak for them, that's not Department of Public Health. We're not the Department of Public Health. So I think the question is you can go over there and see what the response is.
And videotape, in case they
I
decide
can't
to
speak
not.
to whether you want to videotape or not.
No, I do want to videotape. That way when I walk in and, they try to say that I'm being disruptive, simply following up, it'll be on the videotape so that when they deny, because apparently, right now, it was very clear that I can walk into the building, but nobody has said, yes, you will receive the services. Hey, you guys can all go with me.
Mr. Garza.
I can wear a straitjacket.
Let's
I'm
let
not
people talk.
confrontational.
I think it's good to hear
Please.
other people talk.
Mr. Garza, I don't know a lot about your case, but you keep talking about receiving services. Can you be specific about what specific?
I've been seeking primary care for years now. Ever since my last doctor, Mitchell Katz, abandoned me when I decided to sue the city.
So you want to see a primary care physician?
I constantly,
So if
because,
You
I
haven't
need
seen any
medical
for a
care.
long time.
12 years since my last
You haven't
doctor,
seen
Mitchell
any
Katz,
doctor.
abandoned me.
So your goal today, if you were to walk across the street to either to the Tom Waddell Clinic, and you say, I want to be assigned to a primary care physician, that would take care of.
And to receive services and to videotape the receipt of those services so that I can establish a baseline and tell him, what all my problems, all my stressors have been over the years, the fact that I've done everything correctly.
This is the programmatic access ADA person at the Mayor's Office of Disability. Please, please, please pay attention to her incorrectness.
To get started, then accountability of all the issues that I'm bringing forward, because, I don't want this to happen to somebody else.
I understand that, and let me ask
She
you
understands that.
specific questions. Do you want a primary care physician? Do you want to receive physical health, health services, or mental health services?
Everything that I'm entitled to.
Now, notice she's an advocate or adversarial.
Your condition, right?
Correct.
Now, you do understand that videotaping might not be agreed upon by the physicians or the professionals who work with
No,
you.
I do not understand.
Well, perhaps you can shed some light on this, but my understanding is that you cannot videotape someone unless they agree to be videotaped.
She's incorrect,
Correct?
and she's the programmatic manager
Unless they agree to be
for
videotaped.
ADA at the Mayor's Office of Disability.
Just like you did.
So what if I go in and put the video recorder on me and they're not being videotaped, but I'm being videotaped, establishing the record?
Any type of recording. You may ask for
You
questions.
may ask them that. I don't know the question. I don't know the answer about it.
See, even the sheriff doesn't know the
Well, no,
answer.
I've been offered in the past, not only to have witnesses, but, I was even asked whether, I would allow videotaping, and
But if your goal is to get services and you want to videotape yourself, you should talk to the physician or the administrator.
and if I'm denied, you gotta
To
understand that.
videotape yourself.
And you gotta understand the reason I will probably be denied is because they don't want the baseline record of the constant betrayals by DPH to me in seeking services. I've got years of records of seeking services, of the risk management responses by their risk management department, the fact that it just, I
I'm
basically.
curious, would there be a betrayal if you just went and sought services and not videotape? What's the betrayal? You not getting the videotape or you not getting services?
The betrayal happens, and I'll be honest with you, it would then become he says against she says, and the records might be altered. It comes down to trust. I thought that after winning,
Just curious, if you went in and asked for services and your videotape was, since it's very important to you, and I
Since it's very important to you.
videotape, you just decide to because you haven't had services and you seemed skeptical, which makes sense based on your experience.
Makes sense.
Could you then just give it a try and see if you get services?
Could
You-
you
I've
just
already
try
done
to put the
multiple tries
videotape
and
down
not
and seek
received
services?
And the only reason, Ross, and let me put you on
But I think
videotape.
Yes.
you haven't
And let
seen-
me put you on videotape. That it's gotten this far, and now I've even been offered services, is because of the videotape. So, yes, sir.
Good old bait and switch,
I don't
Ross.
Getting
want
answer
the
these questions
videotape.
because you're videotaping. You're going to answer these questions.
No, sir, you've got to understand, I've been through the whole process many times with DPH, not even gotten to this level, where they've broken the law with HIPAA and Sunshine and been risk managed.
So back to the focus of the question.
Of me trying to manipulate you.
Videotape to have these answers. It's as simple. But the regard I'm asking you is that, so you've had medical services in the last 12 years? Because
No.
I just heard you say that you had.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so then.
I've sought,
If
continue
you
to
saw-
seek.
Then I'm curious, could you try, because I'd be very curious to get the answer, to get medical services, and if you got them without videotaping, then what would you do?
What part doesn't he understand?
I
The N or
understand
the
the
O?
question. And the answer to it is, no, at this point, because of what I've been through and my disability, and the fact that I've asked for programmatic access under my disability. Now, let me explain my disability to you, so that you'll understand. I have what's known as an adjustment disorder. Me and Mitchell Katz used to, refer to it as a well-adjusted individual in a maladjusted society, or, an individual who can't adjust to disorder. Now, imagine having nothing but disorder thrown at him, because I can show you, sir, a signed confession sitting next to an arrest record, never having been arrested in my life, for a crime that DPH committed.
An arrest
being
record
right has gotten me
for a
nowhere.
crime DPH
So,
has committed.
The only thing I have not lost is my integrity. I have no qualms videotaping myself.
So we want you to get service
Me too.
As long as I put my video camera down.
at the focal point of getting service. So I agree here that I think that if you are seeking services, we're trying to remove those barriers.
And I'm very, very happy
So-
for that.
Why can't he enforce the law to remove the barriers?
Then let's make sure that those barriers are real.
They're not real. He's not enforcing the law.
This idea to say that if you're getting services, A, put the videotape on yourself to see if it's fine, or B, don't use the videotape, and let's know if you got services.
That presupposes they're going to allow the videotaping even of myself.
Give it a whirl to see.
And
you
if
can
they
do it.
don't, then come back to you and say they didn't, and I still need
Watch the
services.
following tapes to see if they did.
Actually deny yourself service if you can't videotape?
At this point, after what I have
What kind of a
heard
question is that?
consistently, after their DPH's lies in front of Sunshine and not been accountable, after their lies in federal court and not been accountable, after the bogus stay away on 8/15, double hockey sticks, HE double hockey sticks, yeah.
Mr. President, I have a question for you. You
Divert.
mentioned you have an adjustment disorder, a documented adjustment disorder, which is a psychological disability. And from an ADA perspective, you are entitled to reasonable accommodation.
Ah,
That's why I've
admission.
asked for programmatic access to be able to
Right.
videotape.
Sir, you mentioned programmatic access. Now, you have to be able to explain to us how a particular accommodation that you're requesting or programmatic access is going to have, it has a.
That is false. All you have to do is request it.
Can you make that connection?
I think I just did. I think I just told you that after having proven that the Department of Public Health is not only not accountable, and after I receive these services, they still won't do the right thing and be accountable.
But you're not
You know.
saying why this has anything to do with the disability.
Because I'm a well-adjusted individual in a maladjusted society that told me I was wrong, and now I have the proof that I was right.
Second time I've told her.
After winning, I would find civility and humanity. I've just explained it. Please ask me a question specifically so I can explain it for a second time.
Okay, so how does your disability What is the limitation?
The limitation of my adjustment disorder is the fact that I seek to do the correct, right thing in all circumstance. You know, even against all odds, even against...
Give her the answer and look at the frown on her face.
You know, even against law enforcement, which doesn't perform accurately or correctly. You know,
That doesn't make sense.
that is my adjustment disorder. Are you a doctor? It doesn't make sense to you. Are you a doctor?
So she's going to deny me my services because it doesn't make sense to her.
Camera is your accommodation. That's the accommodation you need.
I'm sorry,
Clarification.
somebody need
Yes.
the first part?
Is videotaping, is that the accommodation that you request?
That was what I was requesting under programmatic access to Dr. Pachi, you know, when I was repeatedly denied, you know.
Videotaping.
Of course, because in this way it proves that I've continually spoken the truth and that there will be no action.
That's the ADA coordinator for
The only person
DPH.
harmed
Asked me if she
will be
performed her
myself,
function
who was
correctly.
already harmed.
Did she
who's
provide the
constantly
programmatic
told the
access?
truth. I don't know how to be any other way except honest. So, yeah, I guess that is my adjustment disorder. You know.
Now watch
In all
this
honesty,
person
I've done everything
still
correct.
try to wiggle me out of it.
Besides, even signed a confession, a settlement agreement, the only one of its kind through the Office of Inspector General, admitting
Adversarial.
fault and guilt,
Adversarial.
and then leaving me for dead. They
Adversarial.
also violated my HIPAA rights during sunshine. They violated my access and accommodation rights on 8/15. Excuse me. You know, I think I'm being generous in what I'm asking for. A little humanity. And if somebody's a little afraid of being videotaped, Jesus, hide behind a screen. Let me turn the video camera on me. It's not about, you know, trying to get in somebody's face. I've never been hostile to anybody. But when I'm fed a line,
Can I tell you, you seem
Please.
hostile.
well, after 12 years of being denied, Ross, this is the animal they've created.
Okay, but you
Yeah,
gotta
but
own
that-
something.
But that is not an accommodation.
Isn't she helpful?
Turning confrontational, you can't really blame that as an accommodation.
I deny being
And so,
confrontational.
let
Your
me
representation
explain
is
to you,
not true.
An adjustment disorder has very specific diagnostic criteria, and that limits you in certain ways. And if a simple Google search will show you all the diagnostic criteria, and nothing in what you're saying is pointing a connection between your request.
A simple Google search will show programmatic access and her
I'm sorry,
failure.
you'd have to speak to Mitchell Katz because he's the person who told me I had an adjustment disorder, explained it to me, we laughed over it, you know, and then he also abandoned me when I told him that I've been denied emergency services and everything else. So, you know, for you to say, you know, that maybe if I Google it, that's not what an adjustment disorder means. You know, I do feel like Alice having fallen through the looking glass and everything being backwards of the way it should be. And I do believe that that is...
I am not challenging your disability, sir. I am challenging your request for an accommodation, that it doesn't fit the definition under the ADA, under the intent of the ADA, and under...
I would
the
have to
programmatic-
disagree wholeheartedly. I
And
believe
she
that ADA's
works
intent,
for ADA, for the Mayor's
you
Office
know,
of
for
Disability.
access and accommodation is to become the most accommodating that you can possibly be for somebody's disability, because people are born of all shapes and all disabilities. There's people who can't talk, people who can't see, people who can't communicate properly, people who have Tourette's disease. No, madam. You know, I think I have made a more than reasonable request given. the
Why am I
circumstances.
arguing with somebody who should be my advocate?
We have less than 20 minutes, so I want to still use this time effectively. Mitchell Katz was separated from the city years ago. And I don't think we can do much about whatever the grievances are of the past. So again, here and moving forward, what do we do about getting you what you're looking for so that,
Okay, let me ask you a question. Yes.
so that
and-
the
and-
services is the
I
question.
want the services and I want to move forward, but is not moving forward the ability to heal? And is not the ability to heal, to recognize the past, to fix and to correct? And since I have an adjustment disorder, wanting to do the correct thing in all times and all places, you know, and have you know, integrity to stand behind what is correct and right, and not giving that up in lieu of what should be my medical rights, which are afforded to me and I'm legally required. You know, I really believe that, you know, to say let's just go forward without addressing not only the harm, but the methodology of the harm, and the methodology in which DPH has used everyone to deny, me my legal rights, and probably countless others. Let's not forget what's been happening to me is probably happening to others. If DPH says they're wrong, or, we want you to do this, you guys are going to do that. I wasn't wrong in seeking my medical services.
So if you want to eat the time.
I want them to be accountable.
Well, if you want to eat the time up and talk about DPH in the past and your experience, you're welcome to do that, or we talk about here and moving forward.
Didn't I ask you about?
This staff is only going to do that.
Fine, good, because moving forward.
Yes, limits. We're not here to help you.
Is that not true?
I can only speak to the question of services and access.
No, you can't.
So.
You couldn't guarantee the services. Only access to the building.
That, and being able to move forward and to heal, we must acknowledge the past, because how else would you have any sense of the betrayal, of the harm, and what got me to become, as you say, this awfully hostile person in seeking services?
Mr. Garza?
Please.
Would a letter of apology
Oh, a letter of apology.
make you feel more secure in your ability to move forward?
A letter of apology? You mean like what I got from Gene O'Connell after, I went all the way to the Office of Inspector General when I had already contacted them before and said, don't risk manage me away, treat me like a human being. And
very important. Don't risk manage me.
To me. I lied in federal court, and then I got a letter of apology, and that was going to make it all right? No, ma'am. No. The truth will be exposed simply by what I've had to endure for years, telling the truth. Healthcare. But, the reason I haven't had it.
So we keep going back to healthcare and access, so we're trying
Isn't it amazing? I'm the one on topic constantly.
If an apology does not provide you the restitution you're looking
Apology is a restitution?
and you don't want to move forward.
I didn't say that. You're
Watch him spin.
So use the time here.
Well, and moving forward, I want to be helped with services and move forward.
Which is what I've said from the very beginning.
I want to be videotaped and
Correct.
acknowledge the past and the
Correct.
betrayal and the non-accountability
Correct.
that got me to this point, that's affected my adjustment disorder. That's the reason I asked for programmatic access, and I want to have people explain to me why for years that I've
Still waiting for an explanation.
paperwork. It's taken this long to get this far to get the help. I want an explanation of why I had to be subjected to this
I
length.
don't have an explanation because
You can understand me asking the question.
Well, actually, I don't understand why you would self-sabotage yourself.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Standing up for one's values and integrity is not self-sacrifice.
We have very limited time, and I think we're trying to stay focused on getting you services.
And I'm trying to stay focused on getting services and have people accountable, because in
Okay.
order to receive services, one's got to be able to heal, and you've heard what my requests are in receiving them, videotaping to establish a baseline to show the maltreatment.
So what does the healing entail?
Well, I don't know, sir. We'd probably have to talk to a psychiatrist about that. And, an acknowledgement of all the wrongdoing that's happened, not only by the Department of Public Health, law
Doesn't like my answer.
enforcement.
Ask
Do you
me,
want services, yes or no?
and then, back to, do you want services?
Access to services.
This is why I would never vote for Ross.
To the clinic, how do you want to proceed from there?
Well, we could set up a meeting.
For the
and
fifth
we can
time.
get the sheriff deputy, and we can go down there.
There's not going to be any sheriff deputy.
Of course not, because
You've already heard that there's.
he'll be on videotape breaking my rights.
So you suggest I just walk there with a witness, like I did last time, and I can show you that
Your
video where the
witness is-
deputy said I couldn't video record and asked me to leave. I have that.
Do we have any issue about the videotaping?
Do we have any issues?
The public access areas, there's no issue about the videotaping.
Oh, please, look
Where
at the
will I receive
videos.
the services? I'll wait at the public access areas?
Private consultation with the doctor?
That we don't have any.
We have no
I
jurisdiction.
still need the services. It's a wonderful evasion of
But
me
if
not
you need
receiving the
services, then I suggest
Correct.
that they ask you to put away the video.
And when
You
I
do it.
say no, because I want the ability to videotape, so it doesn't become a he said, she said thing like I've explained to you, then
Well,
what? Come
that's
back
the-
to you?
That's the rules.
Oh, no, excuse me, doesn't mean it's the law. Rules and policies
Then-
are not necessarily the law. It was the rules and policies to get up and lie in federal court, to
can't
go
speak
the
to
full distance with you at the Ethics Commission.
Then why are
but
you
it was
throwing out
not
rules
right,
and policies?
It was not correct.
You can't stand behind it.
It doesn't make it right.
I
So,
didn't say that. But I can't
fine, so
referee
now
that.
let's help me.
He understands it, but
Let's
he
go
won't help me.
forward. Let's get
So
the medical
if you
care.
need services,
Thank you.
if you need services and you want services, and they're saying that not, and I don't know because they're not here, but if they're saying
How
not to
convenient.
videotape, then why not respect that?
Why not respect my wishes?
Okay, this is a very important part that you need to focus on exactly what he's going to say. He's going to compare the Department of Public Health legally mandated duty to provide services to this disabled person. He's going to equate it to a diner with the ability to refuse service to anyone. This is the San Francisco Sheriff only providing security and not law enforcement services. Please learn the games and watch the inhumanity. Yes, you're about to see these words come out of his mouth.
Because if they're providing a service, and
No,
as you
excuse
said,
me, you
it's
mean a
entitled-
prepaid service, which I'm not disallowed to videotape if I seek it, especially under programmatic access, especially with my adjustment disorder, especially given the past treatment.
Boy, he
Am
can't
I
handle me.
requesting it?
Excuse me.
So, in the public areas of the clinic, there are other patients that have the same rights to privacy.
Red
I
herring.
won't videotape them, I've never claimed I would. So, I mean, that's a bogus red herring.
Okay, so.
On
if
your
you-
end too, it's a red herring.
Well, but that's the thing, the doctor has the right to not want to be videotaped,
Fine, I'll turn it on myself.
but you will be recording the whole conversation.
Yeah, the Dr. Pachi also said I could have a witness and, document it too. So, the fear of the privacy and, thing for a public health service
So
is a little
why
queer.
not- Why not go into your medical treatment with?
I've already
a
explained that.
With a friend or a witness?
I've already explained that because I want the ability to videotape. I've already explained it countless times. I don't see what the lack of accommodation is. I don't see what the harm is.
You have made a connection between your wish, your desire, and your disability. And that's.
Are you a
Give up
doctor
hope.
to say that?
This woman
You keep repeating your
is at the Mayor's Office of
interpretation,
Disability.
your opinion. What gives you the qualifications to say this? Excuse me, I've asked for what is provided. I can
But we
point
don't
out,
have the-
I can point out programmatic access on the website, point out the examples it gives, point out what my disability is, point out how it was pointed out to me, the fact that I've been dead right, the fact that I have a signed confession, the fact that it's repeatedly continued, and the fact that I now want to
Now
monitor
here
it
comes
to make
somebody
sure
to
it
tell
not only
me
does not
just
happen
how
again,
good she
there
is.
might be some accountability at the end for all the people who've broken the law.
Deputy Director of Program Access at the Mayor's Office on Disability, and she is a leader at a national level with her area of expertise. I think she's trying to draw
She is a leader at the national level with her expertise.
individuals' right to
Give up hope.
your request for accommodation cannot override other people's rights. They have to be held.
So you're telling me that basically, because of somebody else's rights to privacy, that supersedes my medical rights to care?
Look at her face.
It is not a medical right, sir. It's.
I don't have a medical right to care.
It's not that it precedes your medical.
Ah.
care. It's that it precedes.
We're trying to handle you.
Accommodation request. Under the ADA.
Okay, so are you saying that I don't have rights to medical care then? I'm confused. You've just, okay, so do I have rights to medical care?
Yes, of course you do.
Oh, I thank you. So now,
For your
what is the problem
generosity.
in receiving the medical care that I'm seeking?
The accommodation that you're stating you need is an accommodation. that-
I have been asked in the past by
Answer your question.
I have been asked in the past by doctors if I would allow them to videotape. So for you to even bring up this, I feel is very disingenuous. I have
Actually,
been.
you brought it up because you insist that you must videotape.
Correct, and I have been asked in the past by doctors whether I would allow it, so, I believe
But
that it's
it's
not
the
an
doctor-
unreasonable request, then we'll
Isn't
find a
the
doctor.
doctor's right?
Then we'll
It is
find a doctor who will
absolutely
allow
the
it.
doctor's right. It is absolutely the doctor's right.
Then we'll find a doctor who will allow it.
Great, let's work on that then.
Then we'll find a doctor who will allow it.
Let's work on
How
that.
do we find a doctor that allows it? What's that process?
I don't know. I'm there
I
with you.
don't think you look at the yellow pages, so.
Why not go to DPH? Let them find a doctor that allows it. I mean, I'm gonna go in, ask for my services, say, here.
Okay, this is where you're going to say this probably.
Or
Can I
this-
just give you a recommendation?
Oh, another recommendation.
Just not be so hostile.
I don't think I've been hostile.
Well,
I might have been loud, I might have been, in your face because of, like I said, the maltreatment. And, I
Doesn't
think you
matter
guys,
what the reasons
I
are,
think
but
you guys have
people-
been very civil. I think you've been very,
But when I'm just giving you some just sort of observation.
Correct, I
think
understand.
they're not going to receive you well if you come in the way that I think you may.
well,
Being
that's why I
correct.
wanna take a
So
look.
it's just a suggestion. And I think with the very little time we have left, thank you for being here.
I'm so sorry that I have to leave.
No, thank you for your time. Thank you. Yeah. So how is it that we can find this answer to this question? Because I don't know how readily available a doctor is who's willing to be videotaped. I honestly don't.
Well, the question is what the incoming issue will be. I mean, you present to a doctor and you say, hello, doctor, I'm here to receive medical care. What do you want? Do you want a general exam? Do you want
that's
to
very,
address all of your
that's very simple. I'm here seeking
PTSD issues from dealing with
I'm here seeking primary care, and let me tell you, what my ordeal has been to get here, doctor.
But they
Let me
may-
tell you
but
what
they
I,
may not have the time for hearing your ordeal if they're dealing with, they
well,
need to deal
then
with the
then give
services.
me the physical doctor and
There you
schedule a meeting for us to come in and to discuss the issues that I'm having so that I can get on a path of healing. Look at my body first, but realize that I'm a complete person that needs, mental help, spiritual help, all kinds of help, to do no harm. Everything that's happened to me by the professionals who took this oath, and I'm still sitting
So
here
use
looking
this
for
time
medical help.
wisely. How do you want to proceed?
I'm
Ah,
gonna go in and receive
10
services
different times,
and
the
set
same
up an
question.
appointment to do that.
Same answer.
Well, I don't know.
If you're speaking specifically about Town Mental Health Clinic,
Yes.
you need to physically go there, and then you follow the procedures. And so if you need...
Follow the procedures that fuck you out of your rights.
Depending on the doctor.
So if I'm seeking primary care like I did with a witness in the past, and I have the video of that, just do the same thing, take a witness again, go in, pull the little thing, go through the test where they're doing everything to you, only to have the officer come out later on so you can't be videotaped, and then come back here?
No, that's not what I said.
Well, I'm asking because that's what happened in the past, so I want to be sure it doesn't happen again.
I wasn't there in the past, I'm not gonna be there in the future. I'm just informing you, you can go ahead and go to Town Mental Health Center Clinic, and then you can follow the
Okay,
procedures.
I'll take a witness, I'll follow the procedure, I'll take my video camera, and if it unfortunately happens like
But
it
if they
did last
say to
time,
you, stop videotaping,
then I'll leave and I'll come to you and say, now what do we do? Because I'm still seeking health care, and I want
but
the
if they
programmatic
ask you-
access.
No, no, no.
What do you mean?
If
No,
they say to you,
no,
stop
no.
videotaping, that's the rule.
And I'll say, please explain the law, and I'm asking for programmatic access under Title II. As an
Explain the
ADA
law.
person,
Sorry,
please explain to me. Oh,
I'm
and by
sorry.
the way,
That rule.
Rule.
They ask you.
a rule does not mean it's the law. Please explain the law.
Well,
A
then-
rule, once again, we know, Ross, the
You're on a-
difference.
But you're on a treadmill, and again.
Well, if
you're-
it's
you're
set to
seeking
fail, I can
services,
understand
but you're
how I'm on a
seeking
treadmill.
services from somebody who refuses the right to serve you if they say that these are the rules of the location.
He said it.
Then we make the accommodation.
Refuses the
That's what
right to
programmatic
serve you.
access is all about.
accommodation. Is
No, we
not
don't make the
valid.
accommodation.
You have ADA experts here.
I'm asking.
I'm asking an ADA expert.
Accommodation has to not create a fundamental alteration. to
There is no
the-
fundamental alteration to me videotaping myself if I was gonna have witnesses.
But if they ask you not to videotape,
The-
There are reasons where people are asking you not to videotape.
Of
Well,
course.
that hasn't happened yet. Why don't we get to that point to
you said
see?
it has happened.
In the past, I was squared up, but not by the doctor. The doctor didn't say I wasn't allowed to videotape. It was the security guard who I asked. The police pointed out, and he never was able to. The same thing that happened at, on 815 at 101 Grove.
So
When
you're
I asked
saying the
your
doctor
officer,
has never asked you to not videotape?
I've emailed
Is that-
Dr. Pachi
No,
and
no,
asked
no.
for the programmatic, no. What are you saying?
Has a doctor
Through an
refused you
email,
services
through
ever?
an email, Dr. Pachi said I could bring a witness and I believe audio tape, and I said, well, what's the difference between videotape, and never got back to me under programmatic access. I'm explaining how he answered.
He doesn't like the answers, but I have
Through
them.
an email. So I've already gone through that. I have the paperwork.
Okay, so, is my assumption correct?
My
that
assumption.
The sheriff's deputies act on the request of the medical staff?
If the medical
Or
staff says
medical
that they do
staff
not,
feels-
yeah,
uncomfortable and says.
That's right.
We do not want.
Okay, so then where do I go die or receive services then? Because, at that point,
No, because-
if I cannot videotape and I cannot have a programmatic access accommodation made based on my adjustment disorder,
Do you
You know.
have medical documentation stating based on your adjustment disorder? the type
I don't need to have it.
Rachel Katz
He's not here, so.
Not
he
my
doesn't work for the
problem.
city.
He wasn't here 12 years ago for me
Well-
when he abandoned me. He wasn't here when I got the signed
But if you
confession.
invoke
I
him,
have,
he is your problem.
Yes, Ross.
no, sir.
Yes, let's laugh at the victim.
Required as a citizen, doing everything correctly for prepaid services. This is
Prepaid
my
services.
disability. These services are prepaid. I'm entitled to them,
This could be actually viewed as harassment.
Harassment seeking your own
And
services.
it could really be viewed as harassment if medical staff says you're harassing them. It's up to my
there you
staff
go.
to protect the health and welfare of the people who
Oh,
work there, their
I-
patients. And frankly, you are harassing in the sense that you're suggesting that
Okay.
it's.
And
they're
it's not
breaking the
our-
law.
it's not
So
your
then where do I
responsibility.
go to get my health care or where do I go to
Well,
die, sir?
the accommodation you're asking,
Is unreasonable giving my
how
pass?
do you substantiate the accommodation?
I've already,
There are, under the ADA,
Yes.
when you request an accommodation, you have to provide medical documentation or proof of your disability.
well, how
And
can
then
I
you
do that
have
if I don't
to-
have a doctor and I haven't had one for
Well,
12
sir, then
years?
maybe you have to follow the rules initially to be connected with a
Follow the
doctor.
rules.
Excuse me, you mean when I followed the rules initially and my doctor abandoned me and I did nothing incorrect and now you're gonna put me back into a treadmill that will abuse me and not be correct?
You can report Dr.
I already
Cass.
did all that. It didn't work.
Another dead end alley.
So, a dead-end alley is not helping a patient
But actually,
who's telling the
we're trying
truth.
to break that dead end by
Well,
giving
good.
you some tools on how to proceed.
Except
And I think
enforcing the law.
Decent advice, because you've got people who are committed to try to get you access and services. I think. we
No,
should give it a
access,
try.
not services.
I'll go in with a witness and a video recorder.
Who's your witness?
Why do you need to
and
know?
I'll go from there and there won't be a problem then. And, I just probably will write everything down so that they can't say I'm abusive.
Okay.
And then, if they deny me because of their rules, I'll write down and I'll ask them based on what laws, considering I'm asking them to programic access
But then if
for
they
Title
ask you
II,
based on
and now
accommodation-
leave, I will do the correct thing and I will videotape it and I will come back to you.
Which I
Well, but
did.
if they
It's
don't
not
want-
about
but
being
if they don't want to be
hostile.
videotaped,
You know?
you have to follow the rules.
I do not have to follow the rules if they're not legal.
It's true, you don't have to follow anything.
If they're
but
not
they don't
legal.
also have to give you
They've not been,
services.
no, they have to. That's legality.
Sir, your ADA
He says they do not have to provide the services.
individual rights, do not trump health and safety codes. ADA.
I have not had any
despite-
health and safety codes applied to me.
Despite your statements here, ADA is a very narrow scoped law.
Which has paid you very well.
To all your systemic problems, unfortunately.
Well, I thank you for your opinion. I happen to disagree. I am disabled. I was told what my disability was. I have done everything correctly. I sit here with an arrest record, never having been arrested. Oh, and by the way, if you look at the paperwork, the bogus stay away order that has my picture on it.
Keep rolling your eyes.
18/2012, that was the final dagger by the Department of Public Health. That was my arrest record from 2001 when the sheriff illegally denied me emergency services that I now have a signed confession from the
Look at
Office
that.
of Inspector
The
General.
sheriff doesn't have the right to deny you emergency.
I was denied.
The sheriff
emergency
participated
services.
and denied the
Give me
legal
the
services.
case number.
Enforced an order by staff.
Ah,
I
enforce an
still
order.
was denied, was I not?
Well, moving forward.
Thank you, please, let's not spin. You are not helping my ADA condition.
She doesn't care.
I'm being
Moving
honest.
forward, you can enter Tom Waddell.
Thank you.
Enter 101 Grove.
Thank you.
Go ahead and follow the procedures.
Ah.
See that they have the-
That's correct, and if they do not allow me to videotape, I will be back. And I will see the sheriff. And we'll go
Keep
from
shaking
there.
your head, Ross.
Like I said, I will go, gag. I will write everything down so that they can't say I'm being
But you're
disruptive.
actually gonna get nowhere in the sense.
Why
that-
is that?
Why is
Ross?
that?
Because if the rules are.
Because you won't enforce medical law.
And if the rules are wrong,
Then.
I haven't complied with any wrong rules so far. I didn't comply with the rules of
Just like he
stopping
didn't comply with the
advocacy
mayor's
that Mark
request.
was illegally thrown out, sir.
Which was a rule.
You did not comply when the mayor, told you,
We're
that you were
staying
doing
focused
something
on
wrong.
you.
I am
We're staying
doing.
focused
I am
on
talking about the rules and policies that do not necessarily.
He doesn't have to follow rules, but I do.
What people are
If
rights
you
are.
don't want services.
I
He's
never
entitled
said
to
that.
legal rights, but I'm not.
Well, but they're saying that that's what it takes to get services.
And I'm saying that that's not legal. So please enforce my legal rights and we'll go from there.
Sorry, I'm not a lawyer.
Oh, but aren't you the sheriff?
Simply asking for what I'm asking for. I'm not worried about this. It'll go on YouTube. And everybody will see the lack of advocacy because I will go. I have done all that. I've got all that paperwork. Let me tell you, it doesn't work. It's all a crock. I've got it all. That's why I'm here continuing.
Yes,
to
they all
seek
shake their head,
services,
knowing I
you
have
know,
it all.
And the ability to videotape, so that you guys later on can say, well, see, we provide everything, and I say, yeah, here's the videotape. You know, it's not honestly telling the truth all along. And the reason I'm this way is because of 12 years of not being up, constantly telling the truth, and everybody pointing.
And mind you, this video was made in 2012.
I'm left for dead.
Okay.
Okay, so it's 2 o'clock. We have, I think, exhausted our ability to try
To manipulate you.
be at least constructive.
They're manipulating you.
I think the ball's in your court.
Thank you.
And you will be able to.
And I took it.
I think those.
The videos are here on
barriers
YouTube.
that appear to be either real or not. You can determine those by seeking services, and again,
I've already determined them.
those administrators and staff feel that there are rules to be respected and that they're not. I wouldn't be surprised that they.
Rules to be respected which break the law.
to leave the premises or to deny your services. That's just my forecast and anticipating how this conversation has gone. Personally speaking, I hope you get the services and do everything you can to
Enforce the law.
access to those services.
Enforce the law, Ross.
I really
Enforce the law, Ross.
and I really thank everybody here at the table for their patience, and I think also trying to be as supportive as they possibly
And
can.
manipulating you.
So,
Okay, now what about all our other issues? Are we gonna have another meeting regarding the other issues, the way I was handled here? You know, with like, let's say, the access and accommodation.
Never got the meeting.
Go into, 25 Van Ness.
Never got the
that
meeting.
Not happening that day and receiving.
Never got the meeting.
All the other
frankly
things
think
that have gone by, Captain Gorwood saying we can only take complaints behind closed doors. Paul, of course, using the risk management approach that, it's transparency and advocacy, and it's now taken 3 months before we've even gotten this meeting. This person here claiming to be an ADA advocate for me, after I've explained 3 times what my disability is. And of course, the Department of Public Health saying that I can go in seeking services. And like I said, I'll go in with the
Well, I think
witness
one
and I'll
thing at a
write
time.
everything down.
I want to hear how you actually conduct yourself in working and trying to seek services, since that's been a major issue and one that I think you have a lot of concern about around this table. So see how that proceeds.
And then my complaints that I issued with you guys on 8/15 and the rest, when will I get followed up with? Because, I will go and do what you said. I will go to the Department of Public Health. I will take a witness. I will write everything down. I will not speak. And then we will go from there, and I'm sure I will be back. So,
Okay, well, we'll take it one step at a time.
in the meantime, those complaints that I've already initiated with your staff, what is the follow-through and follow-up with them? And when will I be contacted so I can explain the culture of how, like the Boy Scouts, you guys, by not enforcing people's legal rights to their medical care, are further harming us individuals?
My understanding is enforcement of legal rights is not within the sheriff's deputy's jurisdiction.
He's not law enforcement.
Jurisdiction is to keep the peace, to keep the staff and personnel safe. It's not to be advocates.
Security.
I go through this all the time with the police department. People have legitimate ADA violation.
Legitimate.
The police officers get there, all they can do is control the scene.
False.
Escalate the tension.
False.
They're not attorneys.
They can arrest the perps.
Taken care of in court.
We don't have legal.
False.
So for example, at 101 Grove, when I went, and I pointed out that it was a bogus stay-away order, and that I was disabled, and that I needed help, those officers weren't trained in advocacy, is what you're telling me?
They're
They're
not
not.
supposed to.
They're not trained in advocacy
It's not.
or
It's
ADA.
court ordered that they're not. The sheriffs
Court
aren't trained
ordered.
in advocacy
No,
or
they're
ADA
not.
or any of
They're
these
not
issues.
advocates.
And
No.
I explain it to you that you have to either district attorneys or city attorneys, civil and or criminal, depending on the nature. And so,
Here's another dead end alley.
because that's the truth.
They're not your advocates. They're not.
They're not your advocates.
I just want my rights, legal rights, to be
Well,
enforced.
you've been given the
That's all.
tools to know where to go.
I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna follow
You
up.
seek not to, that's on you. So, good luck, and I hope you really do, I think, succeed in getting the services. We want you to be well. All right, so thank you, everybody.
Thank you.